Here's what an average gym rat evolution looks like. You start going to the gym maybe once or twice, or only when you feel like it, and then suddenly something snaps. You go to the gym consistently session after session without barely skipping any days. Then you'll think that eventually you'll reach your goals. Well, not exactly. There will be a point where we come to a position where we feel stuck and progress starts to become stale. And at this point, some continue to struggle their way out of it, while some unfortunately just quit. But what if I told you that there may be a way to get out of this stale position? Hi there, thanks for tuning in, and if it's your first time here, my name is Nick. I'm someone that has gone through obstacles after obstacles throughout my fitness journey and will most likely stumble upon more on the way forward. One thing that actually leveled out my gains, and sadly enough, I don't see many people doing, is tracking your lifts. For little context here, I used to do incline presses and was thinking that I was constantly progressing. Until one day I tried to recall back and found out that I was actually stuck between the similar weights for a few months. And if I didn't mind to recall at that moment, I probably don't know I wasn't progressing but was just barely going through the motions. And that is why it leads us to the topic today, which is tracking your lifts. I'll be talking from how crucial it is and how it may affect your progress, down to how to do it, and finally, what apps I recommend using for you to track your lifts efficiently. And even if you don't agree with me, I'm sure you can find why tracking your lifts could be crucial by the end of this video. Let's start with a simple question, shall we? What did you have for breakfast yesterday? At this point, I'm assuming that you can't really immediately recall or even recall at all what you had for breakfast yesterday. So what makes you think that is different when it comes to remembering our workout sessions? For our human minds, we may even forget which set we were on, for God's sake. So it's not a surprise if you can't remember how heavy or how many reps you performed on the previous session. And that brings us to progressive overload. Now, to simply explain progressive overload, it is a training principle where we increase the stress put on our body over time and continuously grow our muscle and strength. We all hear this term at some point and how important it is, but how do we actually gradually increase the stress put on our body when we can't even recall the amount of stress that was put on our body in the previous session? That is why instead of letting my brain handle everything, why not outsource the burden by noting it down, aka tracking your lifts? You see, I believe that most of us can perform exercises with the same tension and remember how heavy we are lifting at the current state, like it's at the back of our heads. But what about repetitions? I find it so over easy to emphasize on increasing the weight as a form of progressive overload, while we forget that increasing the reps you are able to perform per set is also a form of progressive overload. What this also means is benching 135 for 7 reps compared to 6 reps on your last session is also a form of progressive overload. And this actually points out the biggest problem is because we can't really precisely recall how many reps we actually did on the last session unless you note it down. And I guess we just all have to keep remembering that progress, no matter how small, is motivating. When you write down 1 more rep or just lift 2.5 more kilos, you create momentum, and at that point you're no longer guessing, you're actually starting to win by creating small victories and letting those small victories become a source of fuel. And talking about progress, if you don't know how to progress in your fitness journey, or just want to start working out but don't know where to start and end up paying the 1-day fee into the gym and go on the treadmill for 2 hours every time, then you can consider clicking the link down in the description below, where it's a link to my one-on-one online coaching service. And since I'm a one-man army now, the spaces are limited. So what are you waiting for? If you're tired of getting stuck aimlessly walking around the gym or don't know if you're doing things right, go click the link in the description to get my one-on-one online coaching service. Back to the video. Now, hopefully at this point, I've hooked you on to how tracking your lifts can help you improve in the gym. Here's how I do it. Before every session, I'll create an exercise and note down the weight loaded. Then I'll perform my reps. And after performing my reps, I'll note down how many reps I performed on that set. So how does this help? I'm glad you asked. At this point, we have a clear understanding of where our previous limit lies, and we know what is the next target to achieve in our next session. Sounds simple, right? But I've never tried it for so long, and only until I've tried it, it was actually clear to me that a lot of times I wasn't really stuck or still at progress. I just didn't precisely know which target I had to hit in order to grow stronger and move forward in my gym fitness journey. Now for app recommendations, you probably saw the footage on the previous clip where I was using an app to track my lifts. And that app is called GymKing and is currently the app that I'm using to track my lifts. And no, unfortunately, GymKing is not sponsoring this video, but it does all the basic things of what a progress tracker has to do, and it even goes beyond, such as adding features like rest timers, summarizing your data into graphs, and even recording supersets if that's what you like. The downsides? Well, it's not free, but I did get it for free and I'll tell you how I did it at the end. Now we're moving on to the free option first, and obviously for the free option, it has to contain two features. One being the ability to note down your current progress, and two, the ability to look back at your previous data to know where your previous limit lies. And the first one I recommend is probably already installed in your device if you're using a smartphone to watch this video now, which is the default Notes app. And no matter Apple or Android, I believe that the Note app is a default app that will surely be installed in your device. If you want to, you can even try the free version of Notion. I don't really use Notion that much, but I have a client that uses Notion to create his progress workout tracker sheet, and I have to admit, it does look pretty good. Now back to how I got the GymKing app for free. I basically downloaded an app on the App Store, which is called Apps Gone Free or App Advice. I'll probably correct it in the edit. But through this app, it updates daily on what apps are limited for free time, and you can download it in that time period for free without paying anything. And if you want to, go try your luck out on this app. And that basically wraps up everything. I hope I helped you see that how tracking your lifts can be crucial in your lifting journey. Now here's the challenge for your next workout. Try to note down the amount of weight and the amount of reps performed in your next workout, and look back at it at the session after. And as always, if you're at this point of the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And there will also be a link to my free newsletter below in the description box where I share more fitness tips, bits of my life. As always, thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.